Morgan. I'm here at my first annual podcast party. Everyone say what's up. Not pictured. Everyone looks amazing. Like new profile picture, amazing. So thank you for everyone, and you'll have to just listen to the rest of the episode. So thanks so much for keeping up with Cash. All this and more, all 2023. Bye! Podcast party.
Yes,
Obviously,
ma'am.
you heard the intro for that. Kicking off the year strong with my first interview guest, Athanie Leeviraphan.
Let's go. What's up, everybody?
Did I say the last name right?
Yeah, that's close.
It was close. Don't ask me to spell it. That's even worse. So, Athanie, how are you feeling tonight? How's it going?
Oh, I feel great. Gonna go bowling here in a little bit.
Yeah,
and,
okay. You're going to get some strikes and some spares and
Oh,
stuff?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
What's your bowling average? Is that like kind of a quick question to ask? That's a little personal?
Not super personal.
He's like, do I lie like golf? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
But men do that, I feel like.
Wow.
No, not as much as their height. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
No, Athanie,
Well,
you know
I gotta touch on all three now. I have to touch on all three. Okay,
no.
bowling average. I would say, like 160 is average.
That's good. I'm not even hitting 100, so
Yeah,
I'm not even in the triple digits. So.
Best is 219, which is that was a great night.
Yeah,
that was a great night. Golf, I am probably a 4 handicap right now. That is not a lie.
I don't know really what that means. I'm not gonna lie. So.
A lot of stuff goes into it. In my prime, I was like a 2 or 1, but
okay.
That's back to the whole lying thing. Now I feel like whatever I say, it doesn't matter. No. But so yeah, that's golf handicap. You golfers out there, you'll understand. I'm not too shabby at golf. I love it.
I believe it. I played. Yeah.
So I'll say I grew up playing baseball, as I'm sure we'll probably get into.
Right, for
since
sure.
I was 3 years old, and anyone who knows anything about that knows that a baseball swing and a golf swing do not combine well usually. So it helps with I can make really good contact, but I'm probably going to slice the living crap out of it and not know where it's going. So I've always been super competitive growing up, and got to playing golf after I graduated high school and decided that I was going to go play football in college instead of baseball. And
so let's just pause real quick. We got to pause real quick.
I know. My bad.
No,
I'm just going on and on.
Athanie has been like ready to be on this podcast. So
I'm ready to go.
He's so ready to rock. And that's honestly, we're so here for it. That's amazing. But before we get into it.
I had a feeling. I was like, when's she going to stop me? I feel like I'm going way too deep
He's like,
into
so this is my testimony. No, so where are you from and how did you get to Springfield? Because I'm a contextual person. We need to start from the beginning.
Yeah, my bad.
No, it's okay. We love the energy. No, it's so good. Don't even apologize.
So, I am from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I was born there, and when I was 5, my family moved down to Jacksonville, Florida. Lived there for 7 years, and 2008 happened, and my dad lost his job, and we decided it was all a God thing. You look back on some stuff in life, and you're like, wow, like how did it work out so well? So 2008 wasn't a great year for our economy, as most people know, and Dad lost his job. But my great-grandparents were moved into an assisted living place, and so we were able to just move into their home, which my dad is a very handy guy, and so we worked on the house and getting it, modernizing it a little bit, kind of not flipping it, but making it look a little bit better, so we could sell it, get it on the market. And so, 2008, moved back to Oklahoma in a suburb of Tulsa. Moved into their house, got it ready. My dad got it all, got it right and sold it in like a week. And then moved to Owasso, Oklahoma, where I went to high school. So from 6th grade until I graduated high school was Owasso, Oklahoma.
Shoot.
And played baseball and football at a pretty high level, I think, and especially baseball. I grew up playing baseball. My dad was a baseball player. He had a little stint. My dad was a baseball player. He actually had a little stint where he played at the University of Oklahoma.
Oh, nice.
And so he automatically just, try to make me a baseball player. But
Yeah.
we also played catch with the football. I loved football. So since I was 3, started playing baseball. Played that all the way through high school, and then started out in Florida playing flag football, and then I think it was like 3rd grade, started playing tackle football. So yeah.
Wow. Was that a hard transition from Florida to Oklahoma?
It was weird.
Quick pause too. If you hear anything in the background, as we discussed in my last episode, I live downtown now, so you're gonna hear all kinds of
Heck yeah,
boogans.
she does.
You're gonna hear all kinds of things. So I don't want to hear any. I'm working in the editing. No, just
this place
live with it.
is sick. Like,
Thanks. I'm not done with it yet, but I love it. So
I'd live here.
okay.
It's pretty
yeah,
cool.
you and your girl gotta be neighbors. Your girl, Skylar.
Skylar, yeah, we'll get there.
We're
right?
getting
We'll get
there.
We'll
We're
get
getting there. We're getting there.
You guys trying to jump ahead, but
Right. So Florida to Owasso, Oklahoma. Was that a hard transition when you were younger?
yeah, it was and it wasn't. So I lived here before, and I grew up and went to preschool with a guy who actually was going to Owasso at the time. So I knew one person, and so he kind of showed me around, introduced me to some people, and then it wasn't very long until we were like out of the different, kind of cliques, I guess. But it was weird. I mean, I've never been a super like confident person. Some people, might think.
What?
Yeah. So, we all struggle with different things.
That's true.
And some of us deal with it differently. Some of us try to act like we're, we're one way when we're not. And I would say that, growing up, I always had to act like I was confident when I really wasn't. And so.
Well, you had me fooled.
I got you. Gotcha.
Got him.
So, there was a lot of, that was a big, looking back on it, I never really thought about it, but, that was a big growing, thing for me. And all the way through high school, I mean, I would say was the same. I started to learn more about who I was and who, I wanted to be. But, so anyways, moved to Owasso, and I, acted like I was all that, talking like I grew up in Florida, and I was like the fastest guy in elementary school, so automatically puts me like top tier,
Right.
And go to 6th grade, I don't know anybody except for one person, and I meet new people, and like I said, I was a little insecure, so I didn't really trust myself a whole lot to make the best judgment or to make the best of friends, but it all worked. It worked out.
Yeah, it's good. So you're playing football, and then your dad's encouraged you to play baseball. So, growing up, was there one that you liked more than the other? Were you playing club of that sport too? I mean, how did that look for you?
Yeah. So, I definitely loved football, like a lot more. Baseball, I love baseball. I wouldn't be playing it this semester if I didn't love it. Putting that extra thing on my plate, as we'll get there.
We'll get there too.
Stuff. But so football is my favorite. As long as you're on the field, like there's always a play to be made. And growing up, I was a big like offensive guy, so I got to have the ball in my hands a lot. And as you grow up and you watch football, you're usually looking at like offensive guys making plays and stuff. And
right.
then as you get older and, I ended up playing defense, you can look at them. But most stars, would say are on the offensive side. But, football, all the fans, it was awesome. And then baseball, you're kind of sitting there waiting for your turn to, get in that bat or, have a play come your way. I pitched, all the way until I graduated high school, so pitching was a lot of fun for me because a competitor, you get to compete every single pitch.
For sure.
When you just get into the field, it's like, all right, is a ball going to come to me? You got to be ready every single pitch. But it's like, I made 2 plays this game and had 0 hits. Like that was fun.
Yeah. So off season growing up, were you playing? Football, is there because in volleyball it was club volleyball. Yeah. So if you're off season of football and then there's baseball, what did that off season look like for you?
Yeah, my bad, completely skipped that part of the question.
No, you're No, you don't need to apologize. I mean,
I hear. So the fall would play football, and then like spring, summer, I was playing baseball. And so in the summer, especially, no school and stuff, I was on a competitive team every summer. And I don't know how my parents made it work. Like every weekend, especially as my brother and sister, started to grow up and started doing the same exact thing. Us three are in different, sometimes 3 different states playing baseball and softball.
Wow.
And competitively, in the summers was straight baseball, and softball for us 3. And my parents, they weren't making a whole lot of money. My mom never really worked. She started a business for a little while. For about 6 years, she had a business, but that wasn't until we were in high school. But my dad, holy cow, worked his tail off to make sure that we could do what we wanted to do as we were growing up. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
That's super cool. So then, how did you hear about Evangel?
I had no idea who the heck Evangel was.
Same. Let's be so for real. The same.
and it's a crazy story. So, sophomore year of high school, I was playing football, and I was reached out to by a lot of like D1 schools, and they couldn't really talk to me. So it was like some of those people like in the behind the scenes that are reaching out, and they're like, hey,
okay,
you're good.
He's like, is this real or is this catfish?
Yeah, right. Yeah. They're kind of like they're talking you up a little bit, and they're like, I'm with Oklahoma football, kind of, sort of, I don't know, blah, blah, blah.
So they can't talk to you if they're like D1?
No, they couldn't talk to me. I was a sophomore.
Oh, you were a sophomore.
Yeah. And so.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. And so I had a good sophomore year. I went to a really big high school. So at Owasso, I graduated with 700.
Wow.
It's still growing. And we play teams like Broken Arrow and Union and Jinx, who have like 1,400 students per class, which is crazy.
Insane.
Yeah. And so I performed really well my sophomore year. And like I said, at a big school, it's not normal for sophomores to, start every single game and play a whole season. And so I think that was a lot of the hype around me at the time. And then junior, senior year, second and then third game of the season, I had like a high ankle sprain and never really missed a play. I just played on it. And so it wasn't really 100%. And, I still would get letters and stuff, but no real offers or anything. So senior year comes around, and I'm like, what the heck happened? I was like, I was talking to, all these schools, and some schools are wanting me to come play football and baseball for them. And then all of a sudden it's like, what am I going to do next year?
Wow.
Like it came to like January of 2017. I'm graduating in May, and I was like, what am I going to do? And I'd gone on a few visits, had an offer from a D2 school, pretty good offer, but I went on the visit, and it didn't feel real great. Like they didn't act like they really wanted me a whole lot. I mean, they gave me a good offer of a scholarship, so apparently they did, but they didn't act like it. And then I went on a visit to Evangel, and it felt like home. Grew up in a
That's
home
how I felt too on the campus. Yeah. It's weird.
And I don't know if you can relate this or not, but I came to campus, and my mom, I didn't find this out until later. She's like, we drove into Springfield, and for some reason, like I just kind of felt the Holy Spirit.
Wow.
And she was like, I had a feeling. She said, I didn't really know yet until it was all over and done with, but and then for me, it just kind of felt like home. And And I would give credit to the Holy Spirit there too as well. Got a good offer here too, and eventually, talked with my parents and praying a lot about it. Just decided to come to Evangel.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So to backtrack just a little bit, so when you were about to graduate senior year and you were like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Well, mentally, like as a senior guy, who was convinced like I'm going to play this sport at this level, like how did that feel for you?
Yeah, no, it was not fun. And I'm glad you asked that, because I got a little testimony there too. I remember I was driving. Had to be 16 because it was in the first car I had, and I was like, what's going on, and wow, my ankle just popped really loud. Holy cow.
Mine does it all the time.
And I was like, I'm talking to all these people, like this is awesome, And then, you go on, and I'm driving like I take the same route to school, obviously, every single day, there and back. And then, senior year comes around, and I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, what's going on? And so I just started praying, and I was like, I don't want to worry about this. Like, I trust you. I've trusted you my whole life, Jesus. And,
Yeah.
And so I was like, take it from me. Like, I don't want to worry about it. I trust you. Like, take it from me and show me a way. Show me your way, and I will trust you, and I'll be obedient. And it was like, as soon as I was done praying that prayer, it was like my shoulders lifted. Like, I had a weight taken off my shoulders that I didn't know really was there, I guess, and so that was, up until then, yeah, it sucked. And then I decided, I can't do this without you. I don't need to do this without you.
Yeah.
So you take the wheel, and it was like, all right, yeah, I got you.
Right.
I got you, bud.
So Athanie and I have been friends since literally like day one of freshman year of college.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy, like when I know my story and then we hear his story, that just like we look at our lives now and it's like, oh my gosh, if we would have just done something completely different all those years ago, like what would our lives look like? Because I just feel so blessed by all the people and opportunities that have came from life in Springfield and Evangel and all the things,
Absolutely.
So
Ignite.
Ignite.
Watched the fireworks, and then went up to the joust and beach in ping pong like 12 times.
That's Cavs.
I'm not lying. I remember playing you, and I was like,
rematch.
So do I let her win, or like, she seems like a sweet girl, like, that'd be nice
That's
to her.
great.
And I was like, no, you're too competitive. You can't.
Yeah,
you can't lose.
like play me to now, because I'm a whole new chick, man.
Nice.
My arm is sore today. Like, that shows you that like I don't work out really. I'm trying to get into it, but today I was like spiking it really hard. Yeah, it's kind of pathetic. So, anyways,
Videos there didn't happen.
yeah. Okay, well, this is for after the podcast, but I'm just gonna put a pin in that.
All right.
Anyway, so before we get into like what you're doing now, obviously you're playing football at Evangel, all the things, and you are a 3 times All-American football player. So yeah, what up, Athanie?
Oh yeah, praise God.
So, we were kind of discussing that a little bit. And how does it feel being All-American 3 times, first of all?
It was, it's really cool. It's a huge honor. People hype you up a lot when it happens, but the first 2 were honorable mention, and I kind of felt, when I earned them, I was like, I kind of felt snubbed maybe, like oh, I deserve better than that. But our team, didn't have the best seasons those years, and so it's kind of hard to, get the recognition that you deserve when that happens. But that was never really my goal, to be honest. I never really thought about that. I came in as a freshman. I say we because our freshman year we had an amazing group,
Football?
And football, yeah.
Yeah, it really was.
We had been used to having losing seasons. Evangel's football program had. And I remember after the first loss of the year, we went back into the locker room and people were kind of like just joking around, laughing. I had a coach walk by and said, "Hey, coach." I was like, "Why is it like this? Like we just lost. What's going on?" And he said, "We haven't had a winning season in blah 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 long." He's like, "It's just kind of how like that's the culture." I was like, "Okay, whatever." Yeah, okay.
He's
So
like,
then,
bet.
I'm
Like,
all right,
challenge accepted.
bet. Let's go. So I get on the bus. People are still yapping it up. Like, I'm used to getting on a bus after a loss, and it's just, dead quiet.
Yeah.
Like, no, everyone's like, what? Just like, that shouldn't have happened. And, I could have been a little bit ignorant as a freshman. We played a really good team. And, but I'm glad it happened. And I got on the bus, and people are still talking, whatever, laughing, cracking jokes, talking about what they're going to do that night, blah, blah. And I sent out a text. I actually put together
in the group chat.
Yeah, I put together a Snapchat group chat with us freshmen, like recruits.
Yeah.
Before that summer, making sure we all had a way of communicating. We could talk to each other if we need to, make relationships in there. And so I sent a text in there, and I was like, guys, you might not be on this bus with me, and some of you that are, I hope you realize what's going on, but this is ridiculous. We need to turn this around. I was like, I don't care what your role is on this team. Like, realize it, and then do whatever you got to do to make sure that by the time you're a senior, this is different, because this is ridiculous. And that's a very summed up short version. But I think every single person in that group chat took that to heart. And I mean, that year we played really well. We won conference. We ended up winning conference. And it starts from the bottom. You know, it's in a sports way. Like, so you have a scout team, which is usually a lot of the freshmen. And that was one of the things I said. I was like, if you're a scout team player, like, realize that, accept it, and go out there and beat the crap out of those first team guys that you're going up against.
Yeah,
and I was like, make them, like, that's going to make them better. And then if not, if they don't want to get better from that, they want to, you know, get mad at you for going hard and trying to make them better. The coaches should realize that, and then you're probably going to get your chance. Yeah. You know? And so it was really, it's really cool to kind of see all that come to fruition, and you know, have some really good years as a football program. And now, I mean, Evangel football is looking forward to having a winning season every single year, and really their main goal is to make it to playoffs, which we didn't quite make it to playoffs while I was there. That was my big goal, but it's okay.
I was gonna ask you, I said, you know, since you said All-American wasn't your big goal, like, what was your big goal every season?
So every season, at first when that happened, it was like, you know, we want to make a difference here, and all credit to Coach Happ and the coaching staff, because they were still newer too. So that was my big thing at first, and then once I was like, you know, we're good. Like, this is different. You know, the culture's changing, it's shifting. I was like, you know, we need to make playoffs, because if we make playoffs, make a run, like, that's all, like, that would be awesome, you know.
Yeah.
And so that was definitely, I think, everyone's goal, to be honest. And so, you know, and also to win conference, but if you win conference, that means a playoff spot. So that was definitely the goal every year. Super
cool. Thanks, Athanie. That was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, as someone who is a 3-time All-American athlete, you know, do you feel like you have a different work ethic than some of these other guys, or like your mindset? What are things you do that you feel like might give you that step further, or that have helped you succeed and grow in sports and maybe life too?
Yeah. So I've always been like a really smart person. So
He's like,
okay.
Pat on the back, not to be like cocky, but just so you guys know, I'm actually like
smart person. So okay, no, there's.
Do you have some, you know,
there's different
URL credibility? You got some references on that?
There's different smarts. Okay, so I'm a quick learner. I'll say that. That's a better way of saying it. So I tested gifted in like early high school or late middle school. I actually took a test, and like I tested like gifted for that. But you know, there's up and downs to that. So the downside is I sit in class, and if I'm listening, I learn it really quick. So then and you know, high school's easy. So I just kind of coast my way through high school. I get to college, and first 2 years are easy, you know, whatever. Then you get to some of the harder classes, and you like actually need to study. I'm like, I don't even know how to study. I've never had to study in my life.
I know.
You know? Come on now. Come on, you feel me?
Oh yeah. I feel like I didn't know how to study till literally my junior year of college.
I still don't know how to study.
I'm like, if I have to like write everything out, and then that's how I study.
I have no idea.
Didn't know that till shout out to my girl Eva. Like
Eva, come on. What's up, Stowe?
Yeah.
Those are my people.
Quick pause. Have to give a shout out to my dad. I forgot to mention him at the podcast party. My dad helped get all this equipment, and this podcast wouldn't be here without him. So Jeff Pagel, love you, and this is your shout outs.
Yeah, shout out to Jeff. I got to meet Jeff. Great guy. Yeah. Mounted this TV.
Yeah,
wonderful job.
He killed it.
Could not be more level, in my opinion, from just looking at it right here. So
boom, got the Athanie accreditation there. Okay, so back to quick learner. Gifted mindset.
Yeah. So I think that helped me a lot. I thought really detailed and in depth when there were, you know, things were happening, and so I think that helped me a lot in sports. So, I didn't really learn about like defense, because like I said, I was always an offensive guy growing up, and then Coach DeSoto, our defense coordinator at Evangel, holy cow! I mean, best defensive coordinator in the nation. I mean, by far. In the NAIA, not even close. Really, he was one who taught me, but I still had like an idea of like schemes and stuff, just because I always had overthought through and stuff, and especially watching film on teams. And so I think that kind of gave me an upper hand on a lot of people. And that's all from God.
Right.
And work ethic, my work ethic was not great. Especially
he's like studying and then
especially in high school. Like I didn't gain a pound of muscle in high school. Like I didn't take anything seriously. I got to college and took it a little more seriously and grew into, also matured more, obviously, a little bit of a late bloomer, I guess you could say. But it's always those woulda, coulda, shouldas,
Right.
It's like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
And that's definitely one of them for me. Is like if I would have worked harder, it would, what could have been, what could have God used me to do.
Yeah.
But I'm here now, and I'm happy with where I'm at. And
yeah.
It was a lot of guys on the team too who pushed me, to be as good as I could have been. I wouldn't have been a 3-time All-American without my teammates and my coaches.
Right.
So, I guess you could say that's what kind of put me apart. Is I had teammates that were pushing me, I had coaches that were pushing me, and then also, God giving me the ability to not have a great work ethic and still be, at the top of my game and the NAI, so.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So there was a period where you had to take a break from football for a little bit. So then you eventually came back and just hopped right in. How was that? Do you feel like you had to catch up? Do you feel like, how was that situation for you?
Yeah, so involuntarily took a break from football, and that was a really hard time in my life. I went through a breakup in high school. I shouldn't have. I was trying to be in a serious relationship. We both were, and it was not time for either one of us to try to be in a serious. We were not. I wasn't mature at all. It was.
We've all been there.
I was about to say. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of you guys can, agree with me on that. But, so yeah, took a break. And still wasn't over that whole thing with the ex-girlfriend and stuff. And I got a job. I didn't want to go to school because I knew I was going to come back to Evangel.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to take any more credits and then eventually not be able to play or something. And so I would go to work, and then I'd come home and I would go in my room and lay down and watch Netflix the whole night until I fell asleep. Wake up and do the same thing every single day. It was ridiculous.
Living the dream.
Oh my gosh. It's so depressing. So depressing. And not a great time in my life. I grew more as a person and spiritually, though, eventually. Once I kind of accepted, this isn't how you want to live your life.
Yeah.
It was kind of I'm just getting by until I go back to school, and it was no, that's not how life's supposed to be. You're don't take any day for granted.
That's good.
You don't, I could die tomorrow, and what did you do with your life?
Yeah.
So I eventually, realized that, and I went through another relationship with a girl because I wasn't over the other girl yet, and decided, that's wrong. And so I had to have that hard conversation and broke that off. And then I actually told one of my buddies in high school, I was from high school, we were in a small group together every Sunday night.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I said, dude, I'm done with this. I was I've never really been single before. And this is still, I'll say word for word. We're going to be real here. I told him, and I was still immature at the time. I was growing, but I was still immature.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to go back to I'm going to go back to school, and I'm going to do whatever and whoever I want.
There you go. Keeping it 100.
I was like, I'm just going to go, and,
yeah.
I'm going to live my college experience. At the time, that's what I thought,
yeah.
That's how you get a good college experience. That's what I thought at the time. You grow up and you realize that's so stupid. And I said, but the next person I date, I'm marrying that person. I'm serious with you. The next person I date, that's the person I'm gonna marry. And God knew, you can't get back to Springfield and do that. buddy, you're gonna get into trouble again. You're gonna have to come home, and it's gonna be for good this time.
Yeah.
Like, there's no more chances after this. And so I met Skylar, my fiance now, and
we love Skylar. Moment for Skylar.
Yes, absolutely. Shout out Skylar.
We love her. Yes,
the
Skylar.
And so,
how'd you meet Skylar? In the
mutual friend.
Mutual
so
friend.
she came to a football game that I went to because I wasn't playing, obviously. And we got introduced. At the time, she was talking to somebody else. You know who you are if you're watching this. And
side eye.
that whole ordeal was crazy. And he was like one of my best friends, and it was just one of those things where she went through the same thing kind of I was going through, and she was growing as well, and was in a relationship as she was, still getting over another relationship, and eventually grew from that, and then reached out, and I was like, no, I can't do this.
So she reached out first.
Yeah. Like, added me on Snapchat or something.
Okay,
and,
so ladies. Okay, little girl power. It's okay to make a little hint move. A little something.
And so we're snapping. I was like, and the first time I met her, I was like, wow, she's beautiful. I was like, but that's my really good friend. I'm chilling. It's whatever. So nothing of it, and then she snapped me, and apparently it was over, and I knew it was over because he was pretty upset, and so we were just talking, and then over Snapchat and stuff, and eventually I was like, she's different, and she's super different. She doesn't need anybody. She's super independent at this point. She's grown. You could tell. She was just different. I don't even know how to explain it. It was just. Was
there one thing that was that's different, or was just the whole?
It was for me. It was she was super. I knew she didn't need me. I had a feeling she wanted me, but she didn't need me. She kind of knew. She knew what was going on. She knew what she had going on. Skylar. If you know Skylar, Skylar is her. So just saying. Yeah. She is her.
Period. It's true.
And but no, I mean, and so I was like, I have to, I can't. And so eventually, oh my gosh, here we go, story time. I drove up here to Springfield, met her mom, picked her up, took her back to Tulsa for the Tulsa State Fair. So 2.5 hours here, 2.5 hours back. Went to this Tulsa State Fair, drove around my hometown a little bit, showed her around. I didn't think that it was going well at all.
Was that your first date?
Yeah, first date. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that nuts?
I don't know if I would. I feel like part of me would be scared to get in a car with a guy for 2 hours on a first date.
Yeah.
I mean, I could talk, but I don't know if I would be scared or something.
I couldn't believe that her mom let her come with me. I walked in.
And her mom was like, he's different.
Hey, maybe. I walked in and I met her, and
a lot of guys don't do that on a first date. They first of all, they're like, parents, scary.
Yeah.
Athanie's like, hello.
Yeah. Well, that's how I was raised.
Yeah.
A little bit Southern hospitality, I guess you could say, from Florida, and so met her, drove her back down there, did that, came back, and
how long have you guys been together now?
So 4.5 years.
That's so awesome, and they're engaged.
We are engaged.
So
Come on. October.
You're Evangel's one of the top favorite couples in the whole school. Everyone loves Skylar and Alan, so this is very awesome.
Yeah, so October can't come soon enough. I can't wait.
Very exciting. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
So I guess, one, that's your relationship status. So we already hit that category, which everyone knows I have to ask on every episode.
Yeah.
So growing up, what or who is your favorite team? Because I know right now you got a favorite team. I didn't know you were from Jacksonville, so wow, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of would make some sense. But yeah, who was your favorite team growing up?
Football.
Or who? Yeah, football. Or is there a certain player that you looked up to a lot?
Yeah. So, football-wise, Jacksonville Jaguars. Come on, Duval. Let's go. Next year's our year. Super Bowl. maybe not.
We'll
but
see. Yeah, the
next couple
Jaguars and
years,
the Packers.
Next couple. Give me like 5 years. If we don't win a Super Bowl in 5 years,
He's changing to the Bucks then. It's gonna be a Florida team.
I can't give up. I've gone through the past however many years with the Jags. I'm sticking with them.
Yeah, the real one's ride or die. I mean, the Packers may never win anything ever again, but I'm still gonna rock it. So I'll still get tatted if they ever get a Super Bowl. I don't care if you win or lose. I'm still gonna get a tattoo.
Oh no. But yeah, so baseball was Hank Aaron. He's just the all-time home run leader. And my dad talked about him, and he had like his baseball cards and stuff, so I just liked him. Football, I loved watching LaDainian Tomlinson, LT, from the Chargers. And so the Chargers actually were, one of my favorite teams growing up. But yeah, there wasn't really, I guess I never really cared about like who they were as a person, as a younger kid.
What they did in their life.
Right, yeah.
Just like that sport.
Exactly.
Part.
I was just like, wow, that dude is insane. Like, I want to be like him, one day. But yeah, that's who I kind of looked up to and kept up with as I was growing up.
That's cool.
Sports.
So we never asked you, Athanie, like what you do now. We missed like one of the main questions.
Oh, it's okay.
So can you go ahead and just tell us like your current like job status and?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot. I am came back to play baseball, taking a 1 credit hour class to do that. Found a little loophole to find a way to do that. So I'm playing baseball.
Boom.
I'm planning a wedding, and I am a financial advisor at Mutual of Omaha here in town.
So if anyone needs some financial advising, hit up Athanie at Mutual of Omaha.
Come on.
There you go.
Absolutely.
So how much are you involved in the wedding planning? Like, because you know how like guys and girls. So I know some women who are like, please, like I'm just hiring. Like some women are like, that's not my vibe, and some girls are like, you get to pick. She's like, you get one song. Like some women will not let go of anything. So like, how involved are you?
So I'm laughing so hard on the inside because I know
and the outside.
I know in the future. I know in the future, Skylar's watching this, and I can see her face as soon as she asks that question. She's like, "Great question, Morgan."
She's like, "Maybe you should do more."
And yeah, that's what you're about to find out. I have not done anything. Yeah. Skylar, it's Skylar's day in my opinion. So I want everything. I want what she wants. I want and
these men gotta take notes. Be so for real. This is great.
Yeah, it's.
Is there anything you want in the wedding? Like, are you one of those guys that's like, we want to have like matching socks, or like I want to have a little golf ball on the cake?
No. I want karaoke.
Oh no.
I want karaoke. Are you kidding me? Come on. So we went to a bunch of weddings this summer.
Okay.
All so beautiful, amazing weddings. And sometimes it's like, the dance floor is open and it might be open like a little too long, maybe, And so it's just kind of, just quieter and there's stuff that has to be done, in those times. So like, I get it. And then so I was like, well, let's have karaoke too.
There you go.
You get people up there, do their thing.
Know about this little idea? Okay. She knows. Is she on board?
Oh yeah.
Rock on. Oh, yeah. I'm here for it.
So it's not going to be a boring wedding. It's going to be a blast. There'll be plenty of dancing, and then if you want to hop up on stage and do some karaoke,
let me know what you need me to sing.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm there.
What's your song? Tell me right now. Which one are you going?
I'm just kidding.
Come on. Let's go. That'd be lit.
I'll be like Ludacris, like okay. The Crusaders' original theme song. No, C-R-U-S.
Oh goodness. No.
Oh, that's funny. So to transition a little bit, okay, so that's everything going on right now in your life then, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So back to the sports a little bit, and also just everything you're going on right now. How do you handle stress and pressure? Whether it was growing up from parents or coaches, or even just having to handle things from work, and that it's a lot. So how do you personally handle that stuff?
It's a great question. So
Thank you.
No problem, Morgan. You're an amazing host. Good job.
Oh, thank you so much.
I never really dealt with a whole lot of pressure. My parents were always just there as my biggest supporters, and I never really had pressure, to be honest. this season of my life, there is a lot of pressure. Starting a new career, starting new, it's a new business. I mean, for me, and it's mine, and it's what I make of it, and so has a lot of pressure on it, especially with time constraints with baseball, and then getting this class finished and planning a wedding.
Yeah.
So I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to deal with stress and anxiety, to be honest with you.
In this stage of life, what would you say is the largest stressor? Because I get it, like corporate, podcasts, doing things. I mean, I get it. So for you, what's like the biggest one? Is it like being corporate for the first time, or like what does it look like for you?
It's working and starting my own business. It's like I said, it's my business will be what I want to make it, and when it comes to doing financial advising. And so it's like there will be days where it's like, dude, you didn't do anything. Like, what, you didn't move your business forward like at all today. Like you had all this time in the morning. Yeah, you have half the amount of time. You have half the day that everyone else has in the office, but you still didn't do anything. And so it's like getting over that. Like, it's finding ways to make sure I don't feel that, and it's also, dealing with like you're not a failure. You're you. It's gonna be okay, but you might need to make it up this next day. You know what I mean?
And that happens, yeah.
And so that's the biggest stressor right now for sure is work. But I mean, eventually I know that it will all pay off, and I trust that in the next 2 years, Skylar and I will have a clear vision of where God wants us and what we're supposed to be doing. And so with all that, I find peace there, I guess. Yeah.
I was actually just having a conversation with one of my friends literally yesterday. We both were, we're like same person, different fonts, and we're just lost, I mean, I'm so content in like what I'm doing and what God has, but there's so many other areas, like for the future, you're just like, I have no idea. But I think we just have to take those things, as they come and day by day, and have like trust and peace that He's going to reveal it to us. And
yeah, that's good. I do believe that, having visions and goals, which I know you have, we learned that at the podcast party. By the way,
a lot of visions and goals.
I've told numerous people already, like Morgan blew us away with the podcast party. Like, holy, like, I mean, we didn't have classes together, in college, but
be so for real. I wasn't with it in college.
But I mean, she like had a presentation PowerPoint going, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's got a PowerPoint. And then she went through it, and it was so smooth, so professional. Wow. And I was just like, wow, you like, and we, Skylar and I talked about it, and the other people too who were there, like, Morgan's like that, she blew us away.
Thank you guys so much.
You did an amazing job.
I really appreciate that.
I can't wait for what's coming up with you in this next year, and I think you should be very excited about it. And I can't wait for year 2 party.
Yeah.
Come on.
Everyone's already talking about it. I'm like, oh my gosh. But, I mean, if everything goes right, when we start really making some serious money.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well,
Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit,
Absolutely.
So quick question, Athanie. So obviously as like a dual athlete and you're doing a lot and, whatever, how do you cope with stuff?
I mean, like I said, I'm still learning.
So like you had say you had a bad game, and say that you did not play the way that you wanted yourself to play, and you're mad. What do you usually do?
I get mad.
So what do you hit?
Sometimes I get really mad, as my teammates, especially in baseball, because when you show emotion on the field in baseball, everyone sees it.
Dang.
And I pray to God some of my teammates are watching this, because I know they're dying laughing right now. I get angry. I'm still learning how to deal with that. But a big thing is like, I know the gifts that I have, and I know how athletic I am. I know what I'm like capable of doing. And so it's like, if I don't reach those marks, I know I can get there, but it's like, okay, what do we need to do to make sure we're back there to that point? And so I figure that out, and then I do what I need to do to get there. And I like, that's my mindset. Like, I will get there. Like,
So how long do you like let yourself be mad? He's like, it could go on for weeks, you know.
No. It's actually, so I just, I feel like this is bad to say, but like I just get really mad for a second. And then once I hit something, I'm good.
Okay.
Hit, throw, break. No. But it's like I just kind of like let out, and then it's like, and especially in baseball, it's easier because it's like you're only supposed to like succeed 30% of the time, and that's good. You know, 300 batting average is really good. So it's like it's easier to tell yourself, but then like if you give up a game losing touchdown or something, it's like, whoa, like now what?
Right.
You know? And
there's a lot more pressure on it.
Yeah. And so there's definitely been times in my career, football-wise especially, where it's like if I wouldn't have done that, we could have won that game. And I'll be mad, but I remind myself there were so many plays in that game that could have gone whichever way. A lot of people, it's easy. Like even in the Super Bowl this year, it's easy to blame it on one play, but you go back and
or
look
apparently
at everything.
Rihanna. I'm just
yeah.
Everyone out here trying to come at my queen, like.
But yeah.
So what advice would you give to maybe like a freshman, either baseball or football player who strives to be All-American, like who has the passion and the drive? What would you say, being the age and the experience that you have now, to them?
Keep going. Like I said earlier, accept your role on the team, whatever that is. Accept it. Like, you might be a scout guy, and that's okay. But if you're working every single day to be the best that you can be, you can't be mad at yourself for that. Some people just aren't given that gift, those gifts that God blessed me with. And you need to, find confidence in yourself and in who you are and your relationship with Jesus Christ, and just trust in that. And then, if you do accept your role on a team, like it's rare, especially if you're like a scout team kind of guy. It's rare, and a lot of people, you will gain so much respect for so many people, and especially the coaching staff, because they're not used to it. And then if you accept that, but you don't live in that role.
That's good.
So like you accept where you're at right now, but you make a promise to yourself and have a vision and goals for yourself of where you want to eventually be, and make sure, look back on every single day and say, did I do today what I needed to do to be where I want to be in the future, where I see myself in the future, where my visions and goals are?
That's good.
That'd be my best advice.
That's awesome. And seriously, male, female, whatever sport you're in, this is great advice. I mean, this is someone who is a passionate hard worker. So definitely take that to heart. So last question before I ask my usual thing. Social media is huge in sports now, whether it be like videos or just all the different reels, or everything. And it's really easy to compare yourself or your game, or you have a bad game and it's just like completely blown all over social media and advertising. So do you feel like social media helps or hurts sports, whether it's on, the NAIA, D1 level? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it helps. I mean, it especially like with golf the past few years. COVID was a big thing with golf, because that was something that people could actually go do during COVID. But like social media with golf is huge now, and that, it kind of expands the game, as they say. And so it helps in that, in that way, I guess. It can be hurtful to like individual players, but that just goes back to knowing like who you are, and knowing your identity, wherever that may lie, whether it's in Christ or, whatever your identity may be.
Right. So do you think it helps with recruitment at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
So your little football player, some right now in high school, and the reels and the TikToks are up there. You think that could really help you get into it?
Absolutely.
Wow.
You continue. I mean, and if you're, some people might look at you, if you're out there posting your highlights on every coach's Twitter, you're commenting and posting it, you're not being a nuisance. Like, if they don't want to click on it, they won't click on it. But eventually, they're going to get curious, and they're going to say, all right, I've seen this dude's stuff pop up in my thing 20 times. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah. That's good.
And so, as a high schooler, if you've got it and you really want to play college football, that's the thing. If you want to play college football, there's such a small percentage of people, especially in the United States, who get the chance to play college football. That's why I'm so grateful for the opportunity. But if you want to play college football, you can find a place to play college football. It's just, you got to want it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So as we close every show, Athanie, it's been such a pleasure. We've been out here just vibing out on this nice little couch,
Oh, this thing is comfy.
Obviously, if you're watching online, the outfits, he's like very professional looking. I am looking like a boogin, but that's okay because this is just how I do my thing. So, favorite song, favorite quote, and what do you want your legacy to be?
Yeah, favorite quote's easy. I don't know who it originated from, but my dad always, growing up, he always said, "Can't never did a thing." And so, can't never did a thing. Don't say can't.
There you go.
If you like it, can't never did a thing. There it is.
That's good.
Favorite song?
Favorite, I mean, it could be like all time or like right now.
Song right now.
It could be like just... It could be like the favorite thing you listen to right now. It doesn't have to be deep, or if you want to make it deep, it can be deep. It can be whatever you want.
I stick to my three main guys: Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs, and some Justin Bieber. Come on now.
That was okay. One thing about Athanie that I thought was so funny when we all met freshman year was it was Christmas, and back when you're like 18, guys were like, Justin Bieber. Like, well, Athanie was like, that's my freaking guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's saying all the words to Mistletoe. He like rapped it all out, and I was like, wow, this guy's different.
I tried.
I was like, this dude is so cool.
You gotta set yourself apart somehow, and if it's by loving Justin Bieber, no, I do. I love Justin Bieber.
He's great.
He's one of the best.
He's awesome. Doubt. And
legacy.
What do you want to be remembered as?
Yeah, I want to be remembered as someone who, I mean, even some of the guys who didn't really get to fully watch me grow in college, they know because they've heard stories about me, and I feel like they came in and they heard those stories, and then they get to meet me as a person, and I as someone who, it took a while for me to mature. It took me a long time to learn, and as I grow up, I've learned that I did learn a lot from my parents' mistakes, but it took me a long time to look back on them and to realize, where they messed up, and to learn from things like that and other people as well. So I guess my legacy would be I was, someone could go up to and ask a really personal question and be real with, and know that I wasn't going to judge them, but try to give them the best advice I could, because I think I'll just say this, I pray every single day for wisdom.
That's good.
And so I think, I'm still growing every single day. And as I grow, I feel like I'm growing more wise and more wise every single day. And that's, that's testament to God, for that growth. And so, a wise person who someone can come to and know that I won't be as judgmental, but also someone who put everything you had out there on the line when it came game time. Because that's what I felt like I did, and I feel like I deserve that recognition, and so I would say that off the top of my head.
Well, thank you so much, Athanie, for coming on the pod.
Morgan. This was so much fun.
Oh my gosh, you and Skylar are my favorites.
You're our favorite.
I was like, I want to be your guys' kid. So to my listeners, you guys, we hit 1 year and it's wild. I have so many fun updates coming. But just keep on keeping up with Cash, and I can't wait for what this year has to hold. Love you guys. Bye.
Let's go.